Happy Sat Stack and Saturday. Welcome everyone to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin still maintaining above 76,000. Price discovery in play. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis, as well as the latest update for Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki, as well as MicroStrategy shares up 20% in the week following Trump's historic victory. We'll also be discussing the recent rate cuts, as well as Vitalik explores potential for info finance as Ethereum finally tops $3,000. We'll also be discussing BlackRock's iBit Bitcoin ETF surpasses iShares Gold ETF and net assets, smashing $33 billion in 10 months. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin lobbyist says multiple U.S. states are eyeing Bitcoin reserves in 2025 as Bitcoin game theory continues in full effect. We'll also be discussing a Trump win driving the Bitcoin price to 500,000 per coin as per PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much motherfucking more here on Sat Stack and Saturday. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1813. I'm your host, JV. It is another beautiful Sat Stack and Saturday. November in full swing. It's November 9th. The new all-time high is 77,300, and we're currently less than $1,000 away from entering price discovery. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. As you can see, Bitcoin finally correcting a little after a historic run up to new all-time highs. We've been pumping since the election evening on the 5th and finally cooled off just a bit, but still maintaining a 76.4. Ether making some strides. It just recaptured 3,000 for the first time in a long time, about to recapture 3,100, up 4% on the day. Ton has been rocking it. It's up 6% on the day. Dogecoin up 6%, and Sui up 10%. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap is sitting at a sexy 2.6 trillion. The all-time high is above 3 trillion, just FYI. And the Bitcoin market cap is sitting above 1.5 trillion and 101 billion worth of volume. But the past 24 hours of Bitcoin dominance back on the decline at 58% as the Ether dominance has been bouncing back, currently at 14.2%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Not up 22%. We got Mantle up 21%. That's a blackjack, baby. We also got Ray up 12%. Let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on, and I'll get to reading your comments here in a bit. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Good to say, 90% of the market in the green. Happy days. And zooming out on the month, oh my God, 95% of the market in the green. Super happy days. Without the fawns here, round yonder, we got Nipster, rest in peace to the peanut, and we got Satoshi. Can't forget about Fred, was it a raccoon? May he rest in peace as well. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, today we're 75, just under extreme greed, giving us room to continue to run up. Last week was a 72, and last month a 39 in fear. And checking out the time chain calendar as the crowd continues to go wild. There's 180,389 blocks to the next halving, and we're currently on block 869,611, and you can currently exchange $1 of that fiat monopoly money for 1,310 Satoshis. You may never see such a great exchange rate on sats again to the US dollar. So seize the moment, because before you know it, it's going to be less than 1,000 sats for a dollar, less than 600 sats for a dollar, 300 sats for a dollar. And before you know it, we're going to the moon. And today's show is brought to you by Trump1.com. That's TrumpWON.com. It's a domain currently up for sale via a private auction. If you're interested in getting your hands on this, all you got to do is email info@thewinningest.com and tell them what your offer is. The highest offer will win the silent auction. And as a bonus, whoever wins is also going to get a bonus domain, investliketrump.com. And all the info is also in the description below the video here on YouTube as well. So take advantage of it, and shout out to our sponsor, Trump1.com. So there you go, yo. Let's continue with our technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. And welcome, everyone. Happy SaaStack Saturday. Headline reads, Bitcoin pundits wary after a spoof city sours the Bitcoin price gains at 77,000. Yeah, here you're looking at the 1 hour chart. I'll be pulling up the live chart here in a moment. But TradingView captured familiar trading conditions for the Biddy. Heavy volume and new all-time highs. That's right. The latest all-time high came in at 77,300, but was short-lived. Liquidity was shifting around the exchange order books, leading observers suspicious. Quoting SKU Analytics, spoof city again today. Ass walking price down and the bids are causing the price to bounce, come on, bounce. Referring to the practice of the order book spoofing, which is large bands of liquidity placed at a given level, only to be thinned out like Gary Gensler's hairline, or removed completely after the price reacts. Such behavior is common in crypto, but banned on legacy markets. Elsewhere, we have analyst material indicators pinpointed to a moment when one or more whale entities attempted to break through the Bitcoin price resistance with major buying on the largest global exchange, Binance, as Miss Yellen once said. Quoting him here, the whale panda, I know it is weird to say after a week like this, but Bitcoin is acting weird and underperforming. He also says when it broke the all-time high in the past, the moves are always aggressive upwards. Now it barely moves up. The higher the market cap, the more is needed, but inflows are massive. So who is unloading? That's the million-dollar question right now. Now, considering what might come next, popular trader Crypto maintained that the long squeeze could come before the weekly close. This would involve a sharp downwards Bitcoin price move, liquidating the late Bitcoin long entries on the back of the latest all-time highs. Quoting them here, 77 hit, liquidations hit. Now, yes, potential long squeeze in the making to shake out some of the longs. We'll shake those mofos out, do what you got to do. Let's just continue to march north, shall we? And as ever, the long-term view was firmly skewed to favor the bullish narrative. Quoting some more analysts here, I find it unlikely we see those prices again after trading so long in the range. We see more ETF demand, referring to the 8-month consolidation period that followed the Bitcoin old all-time high back in March, which was, what was that? 73,000. We are seeing that in the U.S., some states are interested in holding it and that retirement funds will begin to allocate. Global adoption will only increase from here. It is on an unstoppable path. I repeat, Bitcoin is on an unstoppable path. Any big pullbacks are a gift. So take advantage of these SaaStack Saturdays like today, because it's truly a blessing. And in other breaking news, I want to read a very awesome tweet from Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki. Words and thoughts of a poor person. Number 1, Bitcoin costs 76,000. That's too expensive. I'll just wait till the price goes down. We've all heard that one, right, broskies? Number 2, gold is 2,700 an ounce. That's too expensive. I'll just wait for the price to go down. Number 3, silver, oh my God, $32 an ounce. That's too expensive. I'll just wait for the price to come down. Then the prices will come down, but the prices alone do not make you rich. Ultimately, what makes a rich person rich is how many coins or ounces a person has in their control. And I ain't talking about the cannabis broskies. Maybe I am. I started buying silver at $1 an ounce. Now I have 1,000 ounces and I keep buying at $32 an ounce. The same is true for gold and Bitcoin. Kiyosaki goes on to share, I bought my first Bitcoin at $6,000 and I continue to acquire at 76 G's. Remember, while the price per coin is important, ultimately it's the number of the coins, gold, silver, or Bitcoin that are yours that count. More importantly, than the price per coin. That's right, because one Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin. So stack them sats accordingly. And he continues, keep trading the fake money for real money and you will get richer. Amen. So simple. Trade fake fiat monopoly US dollars for the real money, which is the Biddy. And good luck. I wish I had bought Bitcoin at $10 per coin, but I didn't. I started buying at 6,000 and I'm glad I did. How cool is it for those of you who got to front run the rich dad? Today, he says he owns 73 whole Bitcoins, not too shabby. And a year from now, he says, I intend to own 100 of the Biddies, regardless of the price. FYI, I own a lot of income-producing real estate. I own gold-producing mines, and I save my profits in Bitcoin, gold, and silver coins, real money. I, too, wish Bitcoin was back to $10 a coin, but wishing has never made poor people richer. There you go. Shout out Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Now let's pull up some of the live charts as a little bonus for the broskies. Let's check out how the Bitcoin price action is doing. Should be pulling up on screen There we go. Yeah, so you're looking at the charts right here. We had a pump watch all through the evening. We went for like 16 hours. Let me know if you were on it. But let's start with the 1 hour and work our way back. 1 hour chart right here. You can see past 1, 2, 3, 4 hours have been pretty bullish. Or I'm sorry, this is the daily chart. My apologies. Last 4 days, we have had green candle closes since the Trump election triumphant victory. And zooming in, let's check out the 4 hour. I usually work my way backwards from the 1 hour, but we started at the 1 day, so just bear with me. So this is the 4 hour chart, one of the most lit charts right now. In Bitcoin, it shows a bullish pennant formation, big green candles, staircase, bullish pennant, 78.8 is the target in play, which will send us again to price discovery. We achieved price discovery again last night. The current all-time high is 77.3 via Coinbase. Here's the 1 hour chart for real this time. We do have a falling wedge formation on the 1 hour, but we do have a bull target in the red at 77.3, virtually at price discovery, the current all-time high. And from the 1 hour, let's actually go back now to the 1 week. Still very bullish, rising wedge formation, very bullish past few weeks as well. As you can see, 1, 2, past couple of weeks, green candle closes with the most recent, very bullish Godzilla style. We do have a pink bull target, which is that cup and handle target, 124,000, which I personally believe is in play here for Q4. But let me know your thoughts, family. MicroStrategy shares up 20% in the week following Trump's victory, in the words of Johnny Drama from the epic Entourage series. Victory! The stock market is on track to close the week with one of its best performances this year following the Trump pump victory in the presidential race and another round of interest rate cuts. They just dropped interest rates again by 0.25%, which is definitely bullish for risk on assets as the market is acting accordingly. Now, MSTR shares are trading on the NASDAQ at $271, breaking out, hitting yet a new all-time high. How many of you are bullish on MicroStrategy or invested there? Let me know. They're up 20% over the past 5 days. The enterprise analytics and mobility software company has seen the shares skyrocket almost 500% over the past 12 months, ultimately outpacing the biddy, mostly thanks to the Bitcoin reserve strategy. So you want to be a winner? Adopt Bitcoin. Do you hear that, companies? Microsoft, Amazon, and the rest of you guys. When are you going to adopt the biddy? It's time. Now, the company founder, Mikey Saylor, currently holds a portfolio of over 250,000 Bitcoin, full for his company, that is, worth over $19 billion at the current prices. MicroStrategy recently disclosed the plan, which I covered in the pod, to buy $42 billion worth of additional Bitcoin over the course of the next 3 years. That's more than the minted daily supply, just one buyer purchasing up all of the biddies. So let that one sink in, Laura. The crypto price has reached an all-time high over and over again since the Trump election victory. You know what I mean? And he dominated. They announced the winner that evening, and Bitcoin's been hitting new all-time highs, re-entering price discovery practically every day since. Now, other Bitcoin-linked stocks have also had a strong week. Shares of Bitcoin mining company CleanSpark rose 35% in the week. And we also had Coinbase, one of the biggest donors of the U.S. election, saw their stock soar more than 48%. And as I announced yesterday, Elon Musk is now back to the world's richest man on paper with a net worth surpassing $303 billion. Investor optimism is being driven by expectations of a more favorable economic environment under the Trump re-election, further easing by the Fed. And in September 2024, the Fed cut interest rates by 0.5 percentage points, its first reduction in over 4 years. Then November 7th, it followed up with another quarter point cut and just yet another, and they're anticipating yet another in December. And even somewhere in Europe, I think they did the same thing. The ECU cut interest rates by 0.25%, which is ultimately bullish for risks on assets like the biddy. The broader market has rallied in response, with the S&P up 5% in the week and the Dow Jones gaining 5%, indicating growing confidence amongst investors. Ethereum just recaptured 3,000 for the first time in a very long time. So let's break this one down in the latest from Vitalik, exploring potential of info finance as ETH finally regains that 3,000 price action, as they say in the hood. But anyways, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik introduced Info Finance, a new concept aimed at transferring how information is captured, validated, and shared across multiple sectors. In the recent blog posts from prediction markets to Info Finance, Buterin explores how the blockchain tech could help aggregate, organize, and distribute insights more effectively. And according to Vitalik himself, quoting him here, Info Finance is a discipline where you start from a fact that you want to know and then deliberately design a market to optimally elicit that info from market participants. Buterin advocates for prediction markets as a way to collect insights about the future events. He highlights platforms like Polymarket, where users bet on outcomes to generate data-driven insights. In fact, on election night a few nights ago, we were paying close attention to the Polymarket, which is the largest prediction odds, the largest prediction market where you can bet on. And it was 100% correlated with how Trump was doing in the election in real time, because the higher Trump gained on Polymarket, the more votes he was gaining for that, victory against Kamala. So it was very interesting to witness that. I got to the point we can just look at the Bitcoin charts and then see how well Trump was doing against Kamala. And so it was all correlated 100%. But anyways, quoting Vitalik, predicting the election is just the first app. He explained, emphasizing the extent to which prediction markets can provide the public with valuable insight into public expectation without media influence or sensationalism. He further went on to summarize Info Finance, the three-sided market, sharing bettors make predictions, readers read predictions, and the market outputs predictions about the future as a public good, because that's what it was designed to do. Now, Buterin's concept of Info Finance centers around using blockchain and AI to foster transparent information sharing and reward participants for accurate predictions. He believes blockchain scalability and low transaction fees could make Info Finance tools widely accessible. The Ethereum co-founder sees this approach as the answer to solving the trust issues in the industry. Now let's discuss the price action. Buterin's vision for Info Finance and prediction markets arrives in tandem with the Ethereum price surging above 3,000 over the last 7 days after Trump won the United States presidential election. So yeah, Trump's pumping the entire financial markets. The ETH price has increased 22%, breaking the overhead resistance faced at 2,800 and exceeding the 3,000 price level for the first time since March, when we broke out, hitting new all-time highs for the biddy. Venture capitalist Henrique stated November 8th that the supply crunch and rising demand for the Ethereum could trigger a rally for the asset as it enters scarcity mode. So there you go. Here's the latest with BlackRock. Larry Fink, Bitcoin Employee of the Month. Now go home and get your shine box, Larry. You're doing a fantastic job. But yeah, on the real, BlackRock's iBit Bitcoin ETF surpasses iShares Gold ETF in net assets, surpassing $33 billion in 10 months. Yeah, new data reveals the asset management titan, BlackRock Bitcoin ETF has surpassed its gold counterpart in terms of net assets. In a new thread, Nate Gerasi, co-founder of the ETF Institute, notes BlackRock iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF took only 10 months to surpass the iShares Gold Trust, which launched many years ago. Yeah. iShares Bitcoin ETF iBit has now surpassed iShares Gold ETF in assets. Did it in 10 months. The gold ETF launched in January of 2005. This is absolutely wild. Let that sink in. That's like 19 years ago. So Bitcoin just achieved in 10 months what it took gold to achieve in 19 years. Do you hear that, Peter Schiffmeister? Somebody please send a wellness check to the Peter Schiffmeister's house here in Puerto Rico. I'm just saying. According to the data, as of the morning of November 7th, the gold ETF had $32.7 billion in terms of net assets, while iBit, the Bitcoin ETF, hit $33.1 billion. Look at me now. And the news comes as Bitcoin continues to surge as far as the market cap after the U.S. presidential election, which took place November 5th, which we witnessed here live on stream and saw Trump defeat Kamala. The crypto king was valued at around 69 G's, baby. That was before the election. That night and the following day, it surged to 74,000, is now trading at above 76, and the new all-time high was achieved last night at 77,000. 3 ADGs in play. And in October, IBIT set a new daily inflow record when investors poured $875 million worth of the daily inflows into the ETF, according to data from market intelligence firm CoinGlass. And the previous record was $849 million, and just the other day they had $1.1 billion in volume, setting a new unprecedented record. And in trading volume, that over $4 billion, unprecedented levels of trading involved in ETFs. And as I pointed out, the gold ETF launched frickin' 19 years ago, and Bitcoin just put it to shame in 10 months. So let that one sink in, family. Let's discuss the United States of America adopting Bitcoin. This is a pretty epic headline. Bitcoin lobbyist says multiple U.S. states are eyeing Bitcoin reserves in 2025. And I believe referring here to Dennis Porter. Let's break this one down. Following the election of the Trump 47 president of the U.S., the establishment of a strategic Bitcoin reserve has emerged as a pivotal topic. The proposal, prominently advocated by Trump's campaign, aims to position the United States at the forefront of the global Bitcoin adoption and financial innovation. During the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, held back in July, President-elect Trump pledged to retain all the Bitcoin currently held or acquired by the U.S. government. He articulated his vision in an interview with Fox Business, stating, "Who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion debt. Hand him a little crypto check, right? We'll hand him a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion. It is a different form of currency, and it is going to end up benefiting the country. If we don't embrace it, other countries are going to embrace it." Amen. Other countries already are embracing it. Let's not forget Bukelenomics down in El Salvador. Bitcoin country. The first country to adopt the Bitcoin is legal tender back in 2021. Now, November 6th, we also had Senator Lummis reaffirm her commitment to establishing a strategic reserve. Through the Bitcoin Act of 2024, she shared, "We are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve." Notice she made that tweet on X in all caps. You know she means business. The legislation process directing the Treasury to acquire 1 million BTC over 5 years and to establish Treasury managed secure vaults. That's what's up. 1 million Bitcoin is roughly 5% of the circulating supply. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. Experts speculate 5 to 6 million Bitcoin are lost and gone forever, or just stagnant and never going to move, such as Satoshi's infamous 1.1 million BTC stash. Now, lobbyist Dennis Porter, CEO and co-founder of the Satoshi Act Fund, indicating the movement for establishing the Bitcoin reserves is expanding beyond federal initiatives. Thursday, Porter commented, "I've been speaking to pro-Bitcoin lawmakers across the world. You would not believe the level of excitement that the USA is leading on Bitcoin. And when the USA leads on Bitcoin and empowers the lawmakers worldwide to move the Bitcoin forward, extremely bullish on the global BTC adoption." He further asserted, breaking, "I can confirm that in 2025, multiple states will have strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation introduced. I repeat, multiple states. This will be in partnership with the Satoshi Act Fund, which craft model policies include strategic Bitcoin reserve policy." Here's the proof of work right here. Receipts. Breaking. "I can confirm that in 2025, multiple states will have strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation introduced." And that post was November 7th, 2 days ago. So there you go. Porter continued to amplify these developments on Friday, November 8th, stating, breaking, "I can confirm additional state lawmakers have reached out to me today to request assistance passing a strategic Bitcoin reserve after winning their elections. Tag your state lawmaker below if you want your state to join the strategic Bitcoin reserve movement." He added a little later, "Update, keep tagging. We just had another state lawmaker join the SBR movement. Bring it." And despite the growing advocacy, the realization of the national Bitcoin reserves involves substantial legislative and regulatory challenges. The initiative's feasibility remain uncertain, with current betting markets reflecting skepticism. For instance, on Polymarket, there are odds on the question, will Trump create a national Bitcoin reserve by April 29th of 2025, stand at a 33% for a yes outcome. So if you're bullish on Trump actually doing that, the odds are in your favor. It's the underdog bet right now, so you might as well take advantage of that. Special 33 number right there, yo, because those odds may change here soon. Now, Senator Lummis remains a steadfast proponent of the initiative. A strategic Bitcoin reserve will allow the U.S. to address a meaningful portion of our debt, plus strengthen our land. See currency wars for a good primer on the stupid game, stupid prizes cycle. We are in. Let's break the cycle and reinforce on a prosperous future for Americans. Let's go. She engaged with Scaramucci, the mooch of Skybridge Capital and former White House communications director under Trump, who actually worked with Trump for like 10 days before getting fired, but I digress, quoting him here. Time to focus on something the market isn't completely understanding. And by the middle of next year, if Senator Lummis has her way, the U.S. will have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and it will force other central banks to do the same. That would be monumental. You can say that again. Central banking cartels adopting the biddy. Bring it. Game theory in full effect, family. Without further ado, Trump win drives Bitcoin to the $500,000 Plan B target. Let's break this one down. And again, welcome everyone just joining us live and on the stream. So yeah, Bitcoin has surged now beyond 77,000 following the Trump pump victory we witnessed together here November 5th. Bitcoin analyst PlanB's stock to flow model now projects a $500,000 price target for Bitcoin within the next 4-year cycle. Can you dig it? And this is all based on the model's historical data and pattern. Plan B pointed to Trump's proposal to create a national Bitcoin reserve as a potential driver for the demand, suggesting it can add 200,000 BTCs per year in buying pressure, quoting Plan B. If history is any guide, if the stock to flow model is any guide, then we'll see a sharp price increase from here. Send it. Let's get actually right into his actual tweet. Let's show you the receipts here. This was shared November 9th, which is today at 6:30 a.m. Already got 200,000 views, 4,600 likes, and 829 reposts. Here's what he wrote. After the ETF fake out earlier this year, Bitcoin is now ready for takeoff. Stock to flow model predicts $500,000 average with a $250,000 to $1 million bandwidth. Note, this is the original 2019 model refitted with 5-year new data, same parameters, same results, 55,000 to 500,000 to $4 million per coin. Send it and let's go. And here's an actual chart of the stock to flow model. And before we dive deeper into the story, I think it's worth going on his profile here and just looking at his most recent tweets. And if you not already following him, it may make sense to do so. He got 2 million followers. Again, he's the creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. We've been covering him very intensely over the course since I created this podcast, freaking like 6 years ago. But nonetheless, these are some of the other posts. Let's continue down the rabbit hole. Bitcoin doing its thing. Here he put a scenario he actually laid out, and he predicted some of these things pretty accurately. So this is worth pointing out. This tweet was all the way back on September 24th, got close to 3 million views. And check out the first couple of predictions. October, classic pump month with Bitcoin returning to 70,000. Done deal. We did it. November, Trump wins the election, ends the Democrats. Boom. Achieved it. Biden, Herron, Warren, Gensler, war on crypto, meaning ending their war on crypto and ultimately sending Bitcoin to 100,000. It's incoming. We know January 20th is the official day of Trump's inauguration, taking over the Biden administration. And, you know, Gensler, he promised to fire on day one, etc. Other interesting predictions he made: December, which is next month, massive ETF inflow, Bitcoin soaring to 150,000. Then by January 2025, crypto people and companies return to the U.S. Bitcoin goes to 200,000 by February, JV's birthday. Power law cruise sells, Bitcoin sends it to 150,000. By March, Bitcoin becomes legal tender in Bhutan, Argentina, and Dubai. Damn. Bitcoin 300,000. Then by April, Trump, U.S. starts building strategic Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin of 400,000. Then by May, other countries except the EU join the rat race, Bitcoin to 500,000. Then by June, several AI start using Bitcoin to autonomously arbitrage TradFi, Bitcoin is 600 Gs. July, December, face melting FOMO like a mofo, Bitcoin all-time high, 1 million. So he's ultimately sharing a scenario where Bitcoin tops out at $1 million next year between July and December. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And by 2026, distribution phase, Bitcoin back to 500,000. And by 2027, bear market, Bitcoin bottom at 200,000, which he believes will be the next market bottom during the bear winter. Let me know if you agree, disagree with Plan B, and let's dive a little deeper into this here. So yeah, the stock to flow model assesses Bitcoin's value based on its limited supply and scheduled halving, suggesting substantial price growth after each halving event. And while the analysts participate a Bitcoin price reaching $500,000 in this cycle, he notes a wide variance between $250,000 and $1 million per Bitcoin. So dead in the middle is that $500,000 target. And of course, as we were referencing earlier, the new Trump administration is expected to fuel increased institutional growth into the Bitcoin, with Cynthia Lummis pushing to create a Bitcoin reserve similar to the gold reserve. The new administration may also issue an executive order to allocate federal funds for Bitcoin acquisition. TikTok next block. Bitcoin goes up forever, Laura, potentially establishing a new reserve standard. And Plan B also highlighted firms like MicroStrategy, which have announced substantial Bitcoin acquisition plans, as their CEO, Mikey Saylor, commits to purchasing 200,000 BTC per year over the next 3 years, which is ultimately a $42 billion buy. So there you have it, yo. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, and his bullish insights of Bitcoin smashing $500,000 per coin this cycle and potentially hitting $1 million by next year in 2025. Holla at your boy, and let's go.